Everybody, welcome back to the channel and Merry Christmas to everybody. Apologize for my crazy hair. Just woke up a little while ago and I woke up thinking to myself, retirement is a goal for so many people. And when it comes to making enough money to retire, there's two ways you can look at it. You can have a pension, you could have a Social Security, you could have something from government pension or your job that may pay out something, or 401k, stuff like that. But with all of that, right, there's also things like a Roth IRA, and there's also ETFs like JEPI and JEPQ. And so when it comes to building a portfolio where we can earn cash flow, because that's what we talk about on this channel. If you do like those topics, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We are over 2,500 subscribers. It's a small little community here, but we are growing, and I love talking about this stuff. I've always had a passion for the financial markets. I also have another YouTube channel, Multi-Bagger Investing, where we talk about higher type growth opportunities, small cap growth stocks and things like that. But this channel is all about cash flow. It's all about how we can turn assets into income. And when it comes to turning assets into income, we can think about things like real estate. We can think about rental properties, but we can also think about ETFs. And these ETFs in particular are the ones we're going to talk about in this video. And I've discussed these on the channel before, but these ETFs pay on a monthly basis. And so we can take a look at this and we can ask ourselves, how much might we need to be able to actually retire from something like this? And it's pretty exciting to think about. So when we look at this, first of all, we can come on over here to JEPI, the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF, and look at the dividend, 8.26%. You'll see the annual dividend, and you also see that they're paying out every single month. They have not missed, which is awesome. It's the same for JEPQ as well. So when we come on over to JEPQ, it's the exact same thing. In fact, I'm on the wrong page. But yeah, JEPQ, JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. The difference is in terms of the index they track and how they actually earn the cash flow. And so this one's going to be a little bit more, I think, on the higher beta side relative to the S&P 500, that metric we look at that measures volatility relative to JEPI. So in terms of volatility, in terms of, I guess, the risk profile, JEPQ is going to be higher on the risk curve. But as you can see, we have a 10.58% dividend yield on this one. And so as you can see, they have not missed December 11, 10, all the way going back September, October, November, December. And just going back, since 2022, almost, it's going to be coming up on 3 years in 2025. So going back here again to JEPI, if we take a look, and I just basically ran through this and did some simple calculations, $41,300 for a $500,000 portfolio at the current dividend yield. If we look back at $1 million, we have $82,600 we can generate with $1 million portfolio. And if we have a $2 million portfolio, we're looking at $165,200. Now, when it comes to these yields and when it comes to investing in these ETFs, maybe you don't want to put, all $2 million into a single ETF or $1 million, or whatever it is. But the thing is with all of this, right, we have to keep in mind that we have to start somewhere. And so when you're looking at a $250,000 portfolio or a $100,000 portfolio or even a $50,000 portfolio, the concept is the same. The compounding is just different. So how much interest you can make, how much can you reasonably expect to earn. As we've seen since these ETFs have come out, though, they have not missed in terms of their payments. And there is a variable component to this. And so you're not going to be getting those dividends that are fixed where, if you have like a fixed rate payment you're going to be receiving every month with a pension or something. This is going to be variable, but there is some consistency, as you can see, between these dividends. We're talking anywhere basically between 30 cents on the low end, maybe down to 25 cents on a bad month, but we can also get up to 60 cents, right? So you can kind of have a floor almost. Like the lowest one I see on here, for example, right now is 28.95, or almost 30 cents for JEPI. And then if we come on over here to JEPQ, we can take a look at that as well. And now we're looking at basically a floor in terms of the monthly payments of, let's call it 30 cents. So here's one for 33 cents. Here's one for 36, but I'm not really seeing anything much lower than that. And so now you can kind of predict your cash flow Let's call it anywhere from 30 on a bad month, 60 cents on a good month. And I'm being conservative with 30 cents because I really don't see anything under 30 cents that's been paid. But that gives you an idea of what kind of cash flow you could be looking at. So although this is a simplified calculation, right, if we're looking at this much for JEPI. Now, if we come on over to JEPQ, you can see the difference in dividend yield is 0.1058. So on a $500,000 portfolio, you're earning $52,900. On a $1 million portfolio, now you're in the 100,000 plus club. And on a $2 million portfolio, lo and behold, you are over $200,000. And so on a monthly basis, that's where it gets pretty exciting, right? If you're able to get to those larger amounts. Now, it's more difficult to get there, obviously, but when you start talking monthly income of, call it, $8,000, $4,000 a month, even over here on the, same thing. So $40,000 a year, right? For doing nothing, you're still getting over $3,000 a month. That might pay your rent. That might pay, or maybe you don't have a mortgage. Maybe you have your mortgage paid off in retirement, or, your rent payment's low, or whatever it is. But now you're talking, you have this right here on a $2 million portfolio. Once again, $13,000 a month. It's pretty exciting to think about. And this is true for any ETF, where if you could earn cash flows in the, let's call it 7 to 10% range via covered calls, the wheel strategy, and all of that kind of stuff, this is what you could be working with. And that's why it's really exciting to think about, because not only can you earn kind of like a pension almost income, even though it's variable, but then you can also take that if you have money left over after your expenses. If you're earning this much on a $1 million portfolio, 82 grand a year, and you can live off that, you might even be able to not have to withdraw the principal, but actually buy more shares of these ETFs or other dividend stocks and keep on growing your cash flow into retirement, right? So there's also inflation to consider. So over a 20-year period, how will these ETFs fare? Now, so far, if we actually zoom into this chart, you can see this is on the Finviz. Finviz is a great charting service. I love them. But kind of zooming in here, you can see the chart going over the last several months. You see all the dividends paid out for JEPI. Now, since inception, this is positive, right? Same for JEPQ. Okay, so if we come on over here to JEPQ, we can do the same thing. Look at the chart here and zoom in. It's been in an uptrend. The market has been in an uptrend for the last, let's call it year or so, really. Nice, solid bull market we've been in with the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and everything. So with that being said, we come on over here and we look at the long-term chart of JP Morgan, the ETF. Over the last year, we are up only 5.87%. So that is a trade-off. If you're going to be buying these ETFs over the last 5 years or since inception, it came out in 2020, we're up 16.75% on the principal. So you are getting some principal. The question is, has that really kept up with inflation? So then it becomes a question of, is your cash flow large enough from your portfolios, and are you able to actually buy more shares of this, or are you actually taking out your principal in retirement? Because that's going to really determine how long this will last for you. A lot of other factors go into retirement planning, obviously. General overview, but you get the idea. JEPQ also. So if we go over to JEPQ and just type in, see how that one's done. Now, this one is, in fact, up 15.28% in the last year. Since inception, though, it's only up 17.72%. Now, this came out in 2022. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you could be looking at. You're not going to be looking at a lot of capital appreciation, but the good news is, and I've seen some of these covered call ETFs that have definitely gone down in value. We can look at QYLD as an example, consistently going down in value, not recovering. So far, even in the 2022 bear market, when this one came out, and JEPI as well, they fared okay. I mean, they went down to $40 a share in a pretty vicious bear market, especially for the Nasdaq, right? But it recovered. It recovered. Now, if you look at like QYLD, this is one where I'm not hating on QYLD. It's still at $18.73, but this one came out at $25, right? Back in if you look at, in fact, I think, $25 in 2013. So it has never recovered to $25. So there's that constant decay over the long term. Now, maybe we see that here as well. But if you look at the long-term chart of QYLD, it looks a little bit different because you never really had a chance to recover, even going back to from 2013 in a bull market. We had a bull market back then still. And really, it didn't really do anything, right? So it's just been in a constant downtrend. So just always remember that with these ETFs. But in terms of the cash flow you're getting, I hope this kind of gives you an idea, and it's kind of fun to go over this in terms of how much you might be able to actually make if you were buying these and just holding on to them, and how much cash flow you might be able to get. Maybe it's $3,000, maybe it's, per year or per month, $6,800 a month. Maybe it's $4,000 a month if you're, so it just gives you an idea. It's very exciting to think about. This is on a 500,000 portfolio on JEPQ. This was, the other one here was 2 million, right? So if you had 2 million on JEPQ, you're looking pretty solid. I mean, if you can't live on 17 grand a month, I would definitely maybe start to question, if you need to cut some Netflix subscriptions or something. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. If we don't talk again, have a Happy New Year as well. I've been kind of working on my other channel. That's why I have not been posting as much on this one. But I'm definitely going to keep on posting here. I'm going to be posting some more here going into the new year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy a video like this and you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button, because that's what we talk about on this channel. Hit the thumbs up button if you get, and check out the Patreon as well. If you do like this content, it's $5 a month, a great way to support the channel. Thank you all. God bless you all. Take care. Have a happy holidays, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.